Knowledge is powerful, but knowledge is not power. Contrary to what you must have heard about knowledge being equated as power, I'm here to say to you that knowledge in and of itself is not power. The acquisition and accumulation of knowledge puts into your custody a powerful asset. But that acquisition alone does not actually empower you. The actual power is seen when knowledge is put to work. When knowledge is put to work. A lot of people have accumulated so many powerful information in their lifetime, so much that they don't even know how powerful that knowledge is. They don't know how powerful because they have not actually put it to work. They've not committed to putting it to work. But the real power hidden in knowledge is cracked open when you execute. Cracked open by execution. We're in a world where knowledge is abundant. We're in an ocean of information, books, videos, courses, articles, short clips, but execution is still rare. People think they need more knowledge. They need to read more books and join more courses. When in reality, they need to implement. They need to execute on the knowledge they already have. The truth is, quite a number of people have actually left that zone of absolute ignorance. That zone of total ignorance. We've acquired so much information, at least enough to get started doing something. So why don't we go ahead to execute? The answer is simple. Active execution requires real work. That's where the real work is. You rather procrastinate by reading more stuff and make yourself believe that you are doing something productive than to put what you've learned to work. And today I'm going to be breaking down this problem. I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can shift from knowledge accumulation to the mastery of putting knowledge to work. Come with me. Now, it's totally okay to have a thirst for knowledge and to go after it, but it's equally important to understand what is happening when you are taking in information, when you are reading that book, when you are watching that video. What is actually happening? I want you to see knowledge as like potential energy and execution like into kinetic energy, meaning knowledge itself has potential power, but it only becomes active dynamic power in action when it is applied. So for every hour you spend learning, you actually should spend at least an hour working on what you have learned. Most people's problem is not a lack of knowledge, as it were. Their real problem is a lack of implementation of what they know. I'd rather you acquire a substantial amount of knowledge enough to get you to work on what you know till you hit a practical roadblock that will make you go for more knowledge than to just sit there marinating in an ocean of head knowledge. So the real question you should be asking yourself is, what are you doing with what you already know? What are you doing with it? A famous philosopher, Aristotle, once said, the purpose of knowledge is action, not knowledge. The purpose of knowledge is action, not knowledge. So you might not actually need to read another personal development book apart from the one you've already read. Rather, you just need to start taking action, because that's where the beauty, that's where the power of all what you are reading is. It's more profitable to learn and take action than to just learn for the sake of learning. In every learning environment or scenario, we will always have people who end up at different learning stages. We would always have people who will end up at the stage of listening, watching, or just reading something. And there will always be people that will take it a step further to write something down, have a note from what they are learning. There would also be people that would take it a step further to write down personal insights, things that were not literally outrightly stated or mentioned in the material. There will also be people that would go back to their writings to actually internalize them. There would be people that would actually go back to figure out how to apply it to their case. There would also be people that would go to actually act on this knowledge. And even further, there will be people that would take the step to systemize this knowledge around their daily, weekly, or monthly routine to a point where they come into synergy with it. So it's at different levels, and what would get out of that learning process is going to be different because people are putting the knowledge to work at different levels. Now, you may be thinking in your mind, how do I know if this thing will work? How do I know if this knowledge I just acquired will work? Well, news flashes, you don't. The only way to find out is to do it. And the only way to do it is to stop thinking if it will work or not. That analysis paralysis is a silent killer of dreams. Sometimes you don't need a new course, you don't need a new book, you don't need a new mentor. What you need to do is to implement the knowledge you have gained. Execution is where this thing is. Execution. At a certain point, you don't need more knowledge, you just need more courage. You don't need more knowledge, you need more guts. And it's very vital. It's very vital that you know when you have learned enough to step into action. I'll take that again. It's very vital in your quest for knowledge, in your quest for empowerment, to know when you have learned enough to step into action. Now, having the right knowledge is important. Yes, it is important. But so also is execution. Your ability to marry these two together, your ability to marry knowledge and execution together is the mastery that you need. Think of it, knowledge that you can't leverage is useless. It's useless knowledge because people know that knowledge is everywhere, but it's action, execution that grants you the requisite understanding of the dynamics that makes for results. And when people see your results, they would know at once. If you really know what you're talking about, they would know. In wrapping up this episode, I would like to restate this, that the purpose of knowledge is not to get more knowledge. It is to take action. To take action. You don't need to know a lot. You don't need to know so much. You just need to know the right things and execute them consistently enough for you to hit mastery. So I'll be leaving you with this final challenge. Stop overthinking. Start executing. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop accumulating knowledge you will never use. Just stop it. Like I said earlier, you already know what to do. Now, go and do it. Take charge.